Jon Stewart calls out MSNBC for biased reporting, igniting a national debate. Jon Stewart, known for his wit and sharp political insights, has once again made headlines, this time by taking aim at MSNBC for what he described as blatant biased reporting. The former host of The Daily Show and a prominent voice in political discourse, Stewart didn't hold back in criticizing the network for its one-sided narratives and failure to maintain journalistic integrity. His pointed remarks have sparked widespread conversation, drawing praise from some and backlash from others. In an era where trust in the media is at an all-time low, Stewart's critique couldn't have come at a more critical time. His comments have reignited the debate about media bias, journalistic ethics, and the role of major news outlets in shaping public opinion. The context, where it all began. Stewart's comments came during a podcast appearance, where the discussion turned to the role of cable news in modern political discourse. While Stewart acknowledged that bias exists across all major networks, he singled out MSNBC for its overtly partisan approach. MSNBC is just as guilty as Fox News when it comes to pushing an agenda, Stewart said. They may be on opposite sides of the spectrum, but the tactics are the same: sensationalism, cherry-picking facts, and pandering to their audience instead of informing them. This wasn't the first time Stewart has criticized the media. During his tenure on The Daily Show, he often used satire to call out networks across the political spectrum for their failures. However, his latest comments struck a chord, particularly given MSNBC's reputation as a liberal-leaning network. Stewart's key criticisms. Stewart's critique of MSNBC focused on several key points. 1. Lack of objectivity. According to Stewart, MSNBC often frames stories to fit a progressive narrative, leaving little room for dissenting opinions or balanced perspectives. He cited examples where the network appeared to sensationalize issues or exaggerate claims to align with its audience's expectations. 2. Partisan echo chamber. Stewart argued that MSNBC, much like other cable news networks, has become an echo chamber that reinforces its viewers' beliefs rather than challenging them. People don't watch MSNBC to learn. They watch it to feel validated, he said. 3. Selective coverage. Stewart also accused the network of selective outrage, where certain stories are either amplified or ignored based on their political implications. If a story doesn't fit the narrative, it gets buried, he remarked. 4. Contributing to division. Finally, Stewart criticized MSNBC for contributing to the polarization of American society by vilifying those who disagree with its viewpoints. It's not about informing the public anymore. It's about drawing battle lines, he said. Public reaction. A mixed bag. As expected, Stewart's comments ignited a firestorm of reactions online. Supporters praised him for speaking truth to power and calling out a network that many believe has strayed from journalistic principles. Jon Stewart is one of the few voices left who isn't afraid to call out both sides, one social media user wrote. He's right. MSNBC is just as guilty as any other network when it comes to pushing an agenda. Others, however, were quick to defend MSNBC, arguing that the network provides a necessary counterbalance to conservative outlets like Fox News. Of course they lean left. It's called offering an alternative perspective, another commenter said. If anything, we need more networks like MSNBC to push back against right-wing propaganda. Meanwhile, some critics accuse Stewart of false equivalency, arguing that MSNBC's biases are nowhere near as harmful as those of conservative outlets. There's a big difference between holding power accountable and actively spreading misinformation, one viewer pointed out. The broader debate: media bias and public trust. Stewart's critique touches on a larger issue that has plagued the media industry for years: the erosion of public trust. According to a 2023 Gallup poll, only 34% of Americans trust the mass media to report the news fully, accurately, and fairly. This decline in trust is fueled, in part, by perceptions of bias and sensationalism. Critics argue that networks like MSNBC and Fox News prioritize ratings over journalistic integrity, leading to coverage that is more about entertainment than enlightenment. The result is a deeply divided media landscape where viewers are often siloed into ideological bubbles. Stewart's call for accountability is a reminder of the importance of impartial reporting in fostering an informed electorate. As he put it, the media has a responsibility to inform, not to inflame. If we can't trust them to tell the truth, where does that leave us? Stewart's call to action. While Stewart's critique of MSNBC was harsh, it wasn't entirely dismissive. He acknowledged that the network, like others, has the potential to do better. It's not too late for MSNBC, or any network, to course correct, he said. But it starts with putting journalism ahead of partisanship. Stewart also urged viewers to hold media outlets accountable by demanding higher standards of reporting. Don't just consume news, question it, he advised. If something doesn't feel right, dig deeper. Don't let these networks off the hook. The bigger picture, can the media change? Whether or not Stewart's critique will lead to meaningful change is uncertain. Cable news networks have long been driven by the twin forces of ratings and revenue, which often reward sensationalism over substance. However, there is a growing appetite for more balanced reporting, as evidenced by the success of independent media outlets that prioritize facts over spin. Stewart's comments are a wake-up call for both the media and its audience. In an age of misinformation and polarization, the need for honest, unbiased journalism has never been greater. Conclusion. Jon Stewart's takedown of MSNBC for biased reporting is more than just a viral moment. It's a call to action for the entire media industry. By shining a light on the network's shortcomings, Stewart has sparked an important conversation about the role of journalism in a democratic society. Whether you agree with his critique or not, one thing is clear: Stewart's voice remains as relevant as ever in the fight for truth and accountability in the media. As the debate continues, one can only hope that his message inspires both journalists and viewers to demand better from the institutions that shape our understanding of the world.